Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys a bit of a glimpse of Tavern Brawl this week. It is the World Championship Tavern Brawl, as is the other video of the day. I think, again, this is like the best Tavern Brawl I've ever made. The most thought, the most change to the game. It's just been spectacular. You're crazy to miss this week's Tavern Brawl. And in this video, as opposed to the general Tavern Brawl highlights of the other video, I want to focus on kind of the control decks and the peak of the control decks, which is, you might happen to roll into this, it's the Ostkaka Freeze Mage. Ostkaka's Freeze Mage is probably the hardest control deck to play out of the ones that you might be offered when playing this week's Tavern Brawl. And there's a pretty big difference between rolling like an aggro deck or rolling like a tempo deck or even like a miracle deck. We kind of know how those work than like one of these control decks, especially as most players are concerned. You know, you might be a Freeze Mage expert and this might be right up your alley, but even then it's going to be a little bit difficult. And this is what's at play here. So aggro decks just kind of do their own thing. Okay, so if you take an aggro deck from like 3 years ago, it's still relatively successful at any other point in Hearthstone because it just plays itself. It just tries to kill the opponent. There are rarely any tech cards. There are rarely any, new play arounds, any new strategies. They just are aggro decks. Now, control decks are not like this. Control decks are typically tailored to facing the exact meted aggro decks of their period. So if you take a control deck of like 2 or 3 years ago and pin it up against aggro decks today, most likely there will be a lot of carnage. It will get slaughtered, okay? It's not even close. So historically, and especially in this Tavern Brawl format, the control decks will get kind of wrecked by most of the aggro decks, but it's also the skill in playing them. So aggro decks also just kind of, play themselves a lot of the time. Now, I know aggro versus aggro, there's quite a lot of strategy to kind of maxing up, tempo and the big push that can no longer be stopped. But if you're playing, aggro deck versus another guy playing control deck, it's generally very simple gameplay. You just play stuff and hit him in the face as fast as possible. And right now in this Tavern Brawl, that's very effective. So, that's kind of the things at play. You might be playing this week's Tavern Brawl and wondering why you're losing so much. Well, chances are you're just playing a lot of control decks and you're not getting particularly lucky. And that's kind of expected. But there is some hope. I want to make a video highlight of one of my fun wins playing Ostkaka's Mage, which again I think is kind of the peak. It's the deck that really only counters a few aggro decks, not the crazy aggressive ones, and it's certainly one of the most difficult decks to play in terms of control. So check it out. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I forgot about anti-killbot. I actually like this hand a lot against both the rogues.
Job's done.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay. Getting Cleef again. You gonna go Rambo on me here?
Too soon.
The Brotherhood shall obey.
It's not even big enough to care.
So many options.
I see.
Well, he's only got one Lothab, so okay. No, Mage, I don't believe has any unnerfed cards. Just Wild Mage is pretty decent.
This guy's toast.
Uh-huh. Alright. Peace.
I got the best deals anywhere.
How did he trap me with a KnC auctioneer? Holy fuck, bros. This is next level.
The end is coming! Job's done.
He's got cold blood and stuff, so we're okay against that. We got 8 cards. You wonder why they never brought back cards with similar ability to Lotheb's? Well, because instead they brought Pirate Warrior and Tunnel Shrug. It's a different form of a card, but similar level of skill.
I got the best deals
Choose
anywhere.
suit.
Wow. Wow. Goodbye, deck. Goodbye.
I'll show them all.
My eyes are open.
Don't you think you have enough cards, bro? I mean, seriously. You backstab me, right? Oh, you want to think about that. Okay. He's healing one of his 2 auctioneers.
This guy's toast.
We hunger for vengeance.
I'm setting up an explosive sheep. I have another ice block. And if he wishes to do anything, he can't actually kill his auctioneers, so he's going to mill the shit out of himself. So, mill the shit out of himself. He's on a crazy clock. Then we do ice block sheep to clear his board. Then we don't really care what he does. Then we Alistraza ourselves. Now he's dead. Oh.
My hand is too full.
But play another draw, right? Okay. Yeah, that's really smart. I just didn't predict that, you know, I didn't think about it.
I'm almost out of
Okay.
cards. I'm out of cards.
Could I actually lose if I do like an Alistraza play? I probably could. I probably should not do that then. I think if we just play as safe as possible, we're gonna have the best odds of winning. There's no tech cards. I don't believe there's a secret eater. No. There's no way he does 19, so. Okay.